if I compare what I said before, the students here in Taiwan are all very different. Where we worked before, when we were in Turkey, in New York and in London, the participants of the project, they were all potters. And then you will see that it's not always acting the way you want it to act. So it's the material is it's quite difficult. You know clay, you have the throwing clay, and you have the sculpting clay, and you have the liquid clay for molding. This clay is something between throwing clay and liquid clay. So, yeah, take it. You have to put too much force. If it's too liquid, it will collapse.
If you like a bit creamy, see, if you push it, it stays in its shape. It's not slumping or collapsing. So, and then you push it into the syringes. It's important that you have enough clay on there, especially for the first, so that you can immediately fill the whole syringe. And then you just start slowly pushing it in.
Like ice cream.
填这个比较麻烦而已啦，我已经。
So you push one of these in. When it's inside, you can, because the front is, no, it's not flat, it's a bit bubbly. I always also go around and tap so that it,
Yeah, it's difficult.
So this is a part that we designed. You can find it online, you can print it yourself. It's open source, everybody can use it. You always check this tube is loose, right? So it goes in and out. Always check that it is sticking out a little bit. But I'll show you. So to put this on, you make sure that these two fins are not like this, but like this. You just push it in, and then you twist it.
Ja, laat ze het even doen. Laat ze het even doen, want dat is vaak makkelijk.
Like that. So some clay that might extrude really easy without nozzle might be too thick when you have a nozzle. So always use the nozzle. Screw it on. So the way to test it is to open it. It's at 0, nothing comes out. And then you start turning. 3 bar, it starts coming out.
Perfect.
4 bar, it starts to go really fast.
Ja.
Ah, okay. Ah, nice.
We still have printers, the same printers. You just change this, you put another piece on it, and it's like a plastic thread. It melts, and then you can print these kind of things. We still have these printers as well. With the ceramics, so we like to design things that are drawn in one line, like a spiral. With plastic, it doesn't really matter. You can stop and start instantly. So you can draw and then stop and then it goes through that way. So like the lines that you saw on the plates, we try to avoid that when we design in ceramics. So you just plug it in and you put it on.
One thing very important, electronics and ceramics are not friends. Going out of a menu, going back is escape.
It's a bit like computer, huh?
It's a little bit like Nintendo.
Nintendo.
So if I go back to the main menu, there's extruder mapping, never ever use. You can use the Y and the X and the Z to move the machine. Like a joystick. You have to be careful though. Here's a button. Here's a button. If I run the machine and I press that button, it stops. So it's quite safe to go there. But there's no button here, so you can actually... That's not a good sound. But these buttons, they only work when the machine is completely...
Zero.
In that position. You can feel if you grab this with your hands and you try to move it, it won't move. Try it. Try moving it. A little. If I turn it off, you can move it. So if you're printing or manual moving, the motors, even if they don't move, they're powered and they lock. You can move the machine, so if it's off, you can move it slowly by hand. So if you want to get this out of the way to take a piece out, you can move this, but always do it carefully and slowly.
Yeah, try to find the place where it came from. Put it back.
Let's see. Extruder control is also something you never use. This is for when you print with plastics. Home tool head. When I do enter, it will do a little dance. So it will move everything to this position. There's also not so much use
to do that.
For that. So go to this position. And it will move to the middle. Then you can check with your tile. You see? If I would have left the tile in there, it would have crashed in the tile. So you are now in the set Z height settings menu. You can see you can move it. So go slowly down. You can move the tile under. And then move it up until it is just until you can get a paper under. So not really touching, slightly like that.
Okay.
It can be a little bit closer. So so that's important that you do it at least every time that you change a nozzle. Every time that you the tiles, they should all be the same height. But if you see that the nozzle is drawing a line over the tile, you need to redo it. Or when it's too high, but try to do it at least every day. Every time you change the nozzle, those are the points where you need to set that height.
Enter.
It warns you that you have not saved the settings that you entered. So you can only do OK. It's simple, but
你没有试对啊，你要试啊。
okay. So the compressor, similar as downstairs, but the button is a bit easier. The files, it's not only all the different models, but it's also different versions of the same models. This is a version with a 1 millimeter layer thickness. So often the first time I will print only one bottom to see if it's really right, and then I will start printing. So if you see that your bottom is really not good, just stop and start again. Remove it, start again. The only way you can stop a print is by turning off the machine. Yeah? So you select the file that you want to print. In this case it's cup 21, which has 21 sides. So you have one with 13 sides, one with 8 sides, one with 5, and one with a 21. So now you see that the top is nice, perfectly flat. It's a bit more like this. So it's printing quite thin. It's going well in this case for a cup because it's fairly straight. But if you print like a vase, something that has sharper angles, you definitely want to print a bit thicker. So I always tend to go a bit thicker than this. So this is like Claire said, it's a little bit thin. For a cup, this will be fine. But if you try printing a vase that goes inwards, then they start falling from each other.
You also have to think if you are experienced with ceramics. So normally if you cast something, if you cast this thin, it's like really thin for a cast. So it's also very thin for a cup. What you better do, because look, there's still pressure on it. You better.
然后我觉得很有趣的是，像这一次它这个3D 陶瓷列印机，我原本以为说它是一个非常机械性的东西，但是我们在操作的时候，其实它会加上很多人工的部分，比如说调整压力的大小啊，或者是我们一开始填充那个瓷土的方式，可能会产生气泡什么，它其实还是有一些不可预测的变因。其实在我参加这个研习营之前，我自己有一个想要做的东西，但是我一直在想说，它能不能够借由数位这样子一个科技的东西把它做出来。
今天开始在实际的操作列印杯子，那这个对我来讲是非常非常的新奇的一件事情，因为也是第一次去尝试。那也今天早上第一件作品，觉得还蛮满意的。那我觉得这两个老师他们很无私的在把他们的技术经验交给我们。那可是这个都是他们的经验，那后续我们会一直留在这边。那到展览结束，我们会来这边再执行他们给我们的任务，我们必须要完成的这个器皿。那我们可以利用我们自己的一些想法，在压力的这一块去做一点调整，然后再去改变它。它或许会有一些不同的一些造型会出现。
过去的话，我们在使用机器的时候，其实有很多的，就是机器嘛，就是自动化的过程，所以我们有很多东西都是尽量追求精准跟稳定的。那这一次我觉得比较有趣的是，它强调其实是这个不确定性的因素，譬如它有很多的部分，我们在操作的时候是需要手工去调整的。那透过手工调整，其实每一个人的 结果就会很不一样。所以这个跟我过去的经验是很不一样的。
没有拍到瞬间哦。
最困难的地方，因为我刚开始一直就有个就是认为说，3D 陶瓷列应该像是一个像是 CNC 或者是说一般的 RP， 就是说它是一个很精准的一个成型的一种技术。但是没想到说昂凤他这个工作室，他们创造出这种带一点那种不确定性，甚至还带点工艺创作的这样的一个机台设计，这是让我觉得说可以在固定的原型当中，我们可以加入设计师或者说工艺师的自己一点的想法跟变化。那在操作的部分，我觉得最难的地方，可能就是因为它不是那么的精准，所以就是在于可能就是在于调于气压或者说土质的这种部分，我们就必须要比较靠经验。
I think the interaction with the students was really good. They were really interested and engaged and open to whatever was coming at them. It was important because the technique is, or the process is with technology and it's with clay. It was important that we have someone that has a background with 3D printing and technology, and have somebody that is very skilled in ceramics. And then I think it was complemented with somebody from industry, more from a factory, and then somebody who works with multiple materials together. So that's kind of how we also formulated or selected the group with these different backgrounds. It's really, we've always looked at it as a group, and I think it would have been hard for all of them individually to do it on their own. So that's the most important part, that they complement and that there is a reflection from different perspective, art, design, industry, onto the project.
And I'm very looking forward to see the results, I must say. And I feel everybody is taking very serious. So I'm very confident that we will end up with a very nice, very Taiwanese set. And I think that's important. And I also hope that we can try, by keeping in contact when we are back in Belgium and we just do our own things back in Belgium, and they will be working with the machine here, that we can develop this conversation between Belgium and Taiwan and see how they can maybe learn us things about Taiwanese craft, and maybe they can also help or find new ways of new solutions to work with the machine. Yeah, I'm really very happy with the group, and I'm very convinced that we will, that this project will grow beyond the boundaries of this Biennale.